Hello and welcome to TOD Rolls Dice, where we're taking a look at Day 5 of the Grotmas Advent Calendar. Peeking behind the window to find some weird human experiments and rotting flesh, and I guess it's all for the Omnisire. Grotmas Calendar Day 5, red is the colour of the season. Today you can become the controlling tech priest and focus your tactics on the key units of the Haloscreed battle Clade. Tech priests often prefer to monitor their forces remotely, but those who lead battle Clades take this intervention to the extreme, exerting even finer control over their thralls, projecting fragments of their consciousness through the noospheric battle sphere. They override the autonomy of their troops in order to inload tactical information, target coordinates, and vector directives into cybernetic minds. Such assistance is gratefully received by the machine god's faithful, who feel blessed by the rush of divine wisdom and implied knowledge. You will be able to enhance certain units to enable them to fulfill the Omnisire's will. These tactical nuances will allow each tech priest to implement their vision and bring exacting judgment to their enemies. Haloscreed battle Clades have access to advanced wafers that grant greater autonomy and destructive might to the constructs of the Legio Cybernetica. These transoracular dyad wafers will grant Castellan robots the power to be enhanced by the controlling tech priests, noospheric transference, and the hymns of the faithful. Using the commander's enhanced neural capacity enables tactical and analytical divination to process and predict where their consciousness is most necessary within the noosphere, and for the thralls and fanatic followers to benefit from their insight. We struggled finding the festive connection to a bunch of immortal Argent androids, but it's the Necrons arriving tomorrow. That'll be cool. I like Necrons. Necrons have some good detachments anyway, but yeah, it'd be nice to see what they get. So, detachment rule. Noospheric transference. In your command phase, select one or more units from your army, including units that are embarked within transports. The maximum number of units you can select depends on the battle size, as follows. Incursion, so 1000 points, 1 unit. Strike Force, 2000 points, 2 units. Onslaught, 3000 plus is 3 units. Until the start of your next command phase, those units gain the Halo Override keyword. Then, select one of the override abilities below. Until the start of your next command phase, units from your army with the Halo Override keyword have the selected override ability. And you can select from Electromotive Energization, which is +2 to the movement characteristic of the unit, Micro Actuator Bracing, which is +1 toughness to models in that unit, which is nice, Predation Protocols, which is the unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced, nice, and a Muted Servo Motors. Models in this unit have this stealth ability. So there's some nice stuff in there. Enhancements. Transoracular dyad wafers, 30 points, Cybernetica Datasmith model only. When the bearer is attached to a Castellan robots unit until the end of the battle, models in that unit have the Doctrina Imperatives ability and gain the Halo Override keyword. That's a way of getting an extra keyword in there. This unit cannot be selected when selecting units as part of the noospheric transference detachment. That's a nice way of giving you a bit extra. Cool. It's quite expensive though at 30 points. Cognitive Reinforcement at 35 points. Adeptus Mechanicus model only, excluding the Cybernetica Datasmith models. The Conqueror Imperative and Protector Imperative are both active for the bearer's unit. I have no idea what those are, but it's quite expensive, so they might be good. And it's 2 extra imperatives that are functioning on that unit, so that's probably quite good. Sanctified Ordnance at 10 points. Adeptus Mechanicus model only, adds 6 inches to the range characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit, and each time a hazardous test is taken for that unit, you can reroll the result. We saw something similar to that with psychic tests with Thousand Suns yesterday. Starting to see themes in these detachments. And finally, Inloaded Lethality for 15 points. On a Tech Priest Dominus or a Tech Priest Manipulus model only, add 3 to the attack characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons and add 1 to the damage characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. So 3 attacks and +1 damage. For 15 points, that's pretty good if you've got someone who's going to be wailing in there and hitting. And our stratagems, we've got 2 battle tactics, 4 strategic ploys, and everything is 1 CP. Eradication protocols. When your shoot phase or fight phase, target 1 add mech unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Effect: until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If it is a Halo override unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. Useful, always useful, rerolling wounds and hit rolls. Targeting override: when your shooting or fight phase, 1 add mech model from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Effect: until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, and a modified hit roll of 5 up scores a crit. That's nice. Seems fairly standard, fairly basic, but it is quite nice. And it's a battle tactic, so your captain level models can probably burn that on a free if AdMech have that. I don't know. I don't know anything about the AdMech. They don't interest me, funnily enough. It's not the kind of sci-fi weirdness that I'm into. Neural Overload: when your movement phase, target 1 AdMech unit from your army. Effect: if your unit is a Halo override unit, it suffers D3 mortal wounds. Select 1 override ability. Until the start of your next command phase, this ability is active for your unit. So take D3 mortal wounds and select another ability. Designer's note: this means that if the targeted unit already has the Halo override keyword, it can be affected by multiple override abilities at the same time, suffers mortal wounds to do so. Alternatively, if your unit does not have the Halo override keyword, it instead has the chosen override ability until the start of your next command phase, but does not benefit from any other override abilities that are active. Right, okay, I think they could have worded that differently for the effect, but it means you can give a unit, an extra unit for a CP, the Halo override, that overlays whatever they already had, and if that unit is already a Halo override unit, it suffers D3 and can have access to 2 of those things. Quite nice, situational, probably a little bit more fiddly than the others, definitely useful. Aggressive Impulse: when your movement phase, target 1 Scorpius Dune Rider model from your army that has not been selected to move this phase. Effect: until the end of the turn, each time an AdMech unit disembarks from that model, after it has made a normal move, that unit is still eligible to declare a charge this turn. So, disembark, move and charge. Nice for extra movement. Yeah, again, that's quite a nice one. Guided Retreat: when your movement phase just after an AdMech unit from your army makes a fall back move, target that AdMech unit, and the effect: until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back, and if it is a Halo override unit, you can reroll Desperate Escape tests taken for it. Very situational. We're also seeing a lot of things about the fallback and desperate escape tests, a lot of manipulation of that in these detachments, so that's obviously a thing that they've decided they need to look at. Yeah, it could be useful. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. And Analytical Divination: when your opponent's move phase just after an enemy unit ends a normal, advance or fallback move, target 1 AdMech infantry unit excluding Cataphron units from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Effect: your unit can make a normal move of up to D6 or up to 6 inches instead if it is a Halo override unit. So a little bit more movement shenanigans. Basically, it means that you can try and stay away from charge ranges and things. Note that that is specifically in your opponent's movement phase and not in the movement or the opponent's charge phase. So again, situational, could be useful. It saves you having to do a desperate escape or anything like that. But yeah, there's one of the Space Marine detachments has something like that. I think quite a few of the detachments have little movement shenanigans like that. Situational, but it could be good. At the cost of a CP, I think there's better things to do. But I really don't know how AdMech play. I don't know their play style. I think that You can either go all shooty or all melee, but it's tougher to meld the two together. But like I say, I don't know. I can't really give you much on this because I don't know anything about the faction. I don't know their previous detachments. I do know that they are struggling. Maybe this will make them a little bit more viable. I don't think this is bad. There's nothing in here that I look at with my limited knowledge and go, oof, that's terrible. I think that this one will get quite a bit of play just because it's not awful. But these are nice. The transference things are quite nice. And there's a little bit of manipulation of that in here as well, so you can do extra stuff. And if you have a Cybernetica Datasmith and Castellan robots, I think Castellan robots are one of the better units for the AdMech, aren't they? So you're probably going to have those. You can just give a unit Halo Override, which in a 2,000 point game would give you 3 units. And if you needed a 4th, you could pop Neural Overload on for a CP and give them a Halo Override each turn if needed. Or you could double up for, you know, a D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, there's some fun stuff in here. I don't really know. I can't say much beyond it. I don't think it's terrible. But let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.